Greetings, my little lovelies. I hope I find you all well again, and as usual, feeling tickety-boo. Now, we're going to spoil you today. As usual, we usually bring you 3 videos, but not today. Oh, no. We're not bringing you 1, we're not bringing you 2, we're not bringing you 3, we're bringing you 4. And the first one is all about healing, or rather, remote healing. The second video is about the story of children using a Ouija board, so that's as far away from healing as you can get. We do like to take you on a little journey. The third one is all about Thomas Edison, and the fourth one is a picture of a ghost caught in a church in 1975. Now, I won't say no more, other than, let's crack on, shall we? The following has been sent in by a viewer of the channel. They wish to remain anonymous, so for the sake of this, we shall call them Jack. Jack says, I started healing that I remember in my late 20s to early 30s. Back then I did not protect myself properly, so stopped healing for nearly 20 years. A healer who helped my son kept telling me that I could heal, and I knew I could, but I just ignored it, said Jack. Anyway, last year it came to a head when a person I am close to fell ill, and I felt compelled to help them, so I did. This then led to various healings for family and some friends. I felt myself getting better at channeling the healing and was more grounded and protected as time went on. I then progressed to remote healing. At first it completely drained me, which it shouldn't have, but after several attempts I was convinced it was working. Anyway, one day a friend came online and she had severely burnt her hand by picking up a red-hot frying pan. She received second-degree burns to her hand. Jack says he tried to remote heal her, and to his amazement, it appeared to work. She went to the hospital afterwards, and the doctor could not believe that the burn had happened only an hour or so ago, as the healing seemed to be that of at least a day later. She felt a tingling on her arm from the elbow to the tips of her fingers after I tried to help, and she could not believe how little pain she felt after receiving second-degree burns. She also said the skin on her hand seemed to have a protective film layer over it afterwards. Jack concludes, whether or not you believe me is up to you, but she is convinced that I helped her. A group of around 30 students was left terrified after an Ouija board session at their school went horribly wrong. According to reports, the incident occurred after a teacher's daughter at San Jose de Samaro boarding school in Peru's Loreto region brought a Ouija board in and a book of black magic into the class. After she managed to convince her fellow students to participate, the situation soon deteriorated into mass hysteria, with at least one student ending up convulsing and screaming on the floor. When a teacher arrived to see what was going on, they found several of the students lying on the ground, many of them incoherent and suffering from spasms. The incident prompted panicked parents to take their children to local evangelical churches, believing that they had become possessed by whatever had been summoned up during the Ouija board session. The school ended up being closed for a week after the incident, but has since reopened. Thomas Edison had attempted to come up with a device that could record voices from beyond the grave. Well known for developing devices such as the phonograph and the light bulb, Edison's inventions would go on to make him a household name. Less well known, however, was the fact that the inventor and businessman had dabbled in the creation of a device that could enable communication with the dead. His research in this area wasn't well publicized, and it wasn't until 1949, when a French edition of his original diary was discovered and translated, that the full details of his experiments were revealed. His efforts to record voices of the dead took place in late 1870, when Edison attempted to develop a spirit phone by significantly amplifying the sound from one of his phonographs. He was so certain that it would work that he even made a pact with one of the engineers, William Walter Dinwiddie, that the first of them to die would attempt to contact the other from the afterlife. Whether Edison actually picked up any evidence of spirit communication, however, remains a mystery. A woman believes she was healed by a ghostly apparition known as the White Lady as she visited a church during a family summer holiday. Diane Berthold had been unwell for months after having her gallbladder removed and was taking antibiotics for an infection when she went into Worsted Village Church in Norfolk to rest and escape from the summer heat. While she sat on a pew close to the front and prayed for a full recovery, her husband Peter and son David wandered round the empty church taking photographs. Mrs. Berthold remembers vividly tingling all over and feeling a warm, comfortable feeling while sitting on the wooden bench with her eyes closed and head bowed. When she felt better, the family left the church and did not think about the incident until 6 months later when the camera film was developed, and they had a slideshow of their holiday snaps for their lodger in their home in Essex. One photo clearly showed a woman wearing a bonnet and dressed in light-coloured, old-fashioned clothes, sitting facing Mrs. Berthold on a bench directly behind her. She said, "When we saw the white figure sitting behind me on the projector screen, we just stood there with our mouths open. My feet started to tingle. This sensation eventually engulfed the whole of me. It was a pleasant and comfortable feeling," she said. The following summer they went back to St. Mary's Church and showed the slide to the vicar, who told them about a local legend that the White Lady was a healer who appeared when there was sickness. The folklore also said that a man climbed into the church belfry on Christmas Eve in 1830, boasting that he would kiss the White Lady if he saw her. His friends later found him huddled in a corner whispering that I've seen her, before dying. However, Mrs. Berthold, now 81, says she believes her contact with the ghost was a positive experience and has boosted her health and spiritual well-being throughout her life. So what do we think of the White Lady, folks? As usual, let us know. Welcome back, my little lovelies. I hope you enjoyed them. Let us know what you think. As usual, keep it tickety-boo, keep it nice and clean. Now, we'd like to thank Jack for sending in his story. If you've got any stories, as usual, send them in to us. The link is in the description below. So, any stories, don't be shy, send them in. Right, that's all from me. Till the next episode, take care, my little lovelies. Ta-ta! Ta-ta, my little lovelies. Ta-ta!